I came to the Spiritual Renewal Center a few years ago. I didn't grow up knowing anything about spiritual direction. In my particular faith tradition, it wasn't really practiced growing up. But when I went to seminary, I encountered it and really enjoyed it. I felt it was a good way to care for my soul. So I had spiritual direction while I was in seminary, but that was all the way in Rochester. So when I graduated, it was just too far for me to travel. It was 3 hours from me to continue with my director there. So I went online and I just Googled spiritual direction to try to find some places nearby that I could go, and this renewal center came up, and I just emailed Jim kind of out of the blue and explained my situation, that I was a seminary graduate looking to continue spiritual direction, and if he could help me out, if I could speak with him about the possibility of doing spiritual direction here. So we did, and he had several suggestions of people I can meet with, and the first person I met, we really were highly compatible and hit it off, and I've been with her now like 2 or 3 years. So I value spiritual direction a lot because it does care for one's soul, and it helps you to listen to God's direction.
I've been involved with the Spiritual Renewal Center for over 25 years now. The reason I came to this center initially is seeking a better relationship with the Lord on a personal level. And over the years, I've been involved with spiritual direction as a directee. And for me, it's kind of like going to my medical doctor, my primary care provider. I come in here to recharge, to assess where I am with my relationship with God, much like I'd go to my primary care provider for a physical checkup. This is a spiritual checkup, if you will, for me. And I haven't regretted it a bit. I have to admit, there are times when I come in and I'm not sure what's going to happen during the 1-hour session, but inevitably it comes out for my benefit. Just to have someone be attentive to me and listen to me and reflect back and help me get a sense for where my relationship with this God is at for an hour is invaluable to me.
I've been going to spiritual direction with Jenny Smith for the last few years. It began with a course that she gave on midlife spirituality. I was contemplating retirement at that time and thinking about how to build a positive, third section of my life. She was really helpful. We really connected. Spiritual direction with her has been hugely helpful in just making me more aware of God's presence moment by moment.
I discovered the Spiritual Renewal Center about 16 years ago, and at the time I didn't even know what spiritual direction was. But I was experiencing a vocational crisis. I serve as a pastor, and I had some real questions about what I was doing. And a colleague of mine recognized that what I was really struggling with was a spiritual crisis, and he suggested that I contact the center. And I did, and I met with the spiritual director, and it's been a very important part of my life ever since. It's a discipline. It's something you need to do regularly. And I've discovered spiritual direction to be a way for me to continually examine how God is involved in my life, how God is speaking to me and leading me and inviting me. And it's also become very clear to me that this is something that people who are in vocational ministry really need to do. I think spiritual direction is valuable and important for every person of faith. But just speaking from my own experience, it's very important, especially for pastors and people who are in full-time vocational ministry, because this work can get rather lonely. And sometimes we just need to get back in touch with our sense of call.